Sharing, understand a part of his strategy. His strategy is this: the accuser begins by accusing you. You, on your failure, your sin, your shortcomings. The focus is completely on you. He wants you to see, and he wants everyone else to see that. So when you begin to focus on your own sin, when you begin to feel regret instead of conviction, and you regret instead of repent, then all of a sudden, you're filled with all this sorrow that doesn't go away. Then what begins to happen is, he then tries to get you, now that you're so full of regret, look at how bad you are. The only way that you can start feeling better about yourself is if you start pointing out everybody else's. See, if the devil can get you to focus on your shortcomings and make you feel regret for your own shortcomings, the only way to stop feeling that regret is to start not feeling bad about yourself. And the only way to not feel bad about yourself is to make yourself look better than others. Come on. That's a bully. But how many of us are bullies? Well, you know what? I might be sinning. How about this post? I see it on Facebook. Don't judge me because I sin differently than you. That is saying somebody is admitting that they're sinning and not dealing with it. Don't post that. Because all it does is tell everybody that you're not repenting of the sin in your own life. Right? So I got this sin in my life, so don't judge me because I'm owning and living in my sin and you're living in your own sin. What we have a habit of doing is we start doing, well, you know what? Maybe I am bad. But you know what? Look at that person. I'm doing better than that person. You see, what happens is this. We begin to go down where we justify our sin by pointing out the sin of others. That's the first step. Then we rationalize our sin by comparing it. Right? So I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I might be doing this, but it's not so bad because look at what somebody else is doing. It all comes down to self-righteousness. Look at what self-righteousness is. It's the act of proclaiming yourself righteous in the view of others' wrongdoing. You are proclaiming yourself righteous. See? Because you're looking at other people saying, well, I'm not as bad as them, so I'm righteous. The only true righteousness is when God calls you righteous because He's comparing you to His Word, not to others' sin. See, what I'm wanting you to understand is the whole point of what the devil's wanting to do is he's not only wanting to knock you down so hard, he wants to knock you down so hard that you begin to knock everybody else down too. And when he does that, he wins. Now he doesn't even have to mess with you anymore. You're doing his work for him. Can we be honest enough to say that a lot of us have fallen into that trap? That's a trap of your enemy. And when we start realizing what he's doing, we can put a stop to it. See this in the yellow, this bottom line is probably the hardest line that I have today. When we do this, we have become a son and daughter of the accuser. Let's be honest, we don't like that statement. We would have been very good if we didn't have it here. But you know who else made a similar statement? Jesus. Jesus was teaching in a synagogue, and the Pharisees, they were all around him, and they were trying to figure out, they wanted to accuse him, right? And so they were standing around waiting for him to do something good so they can accuse him of doing something on the Sabbath, right? Well, he ends up saying in John chapter 8, verse 44, he says, you belong. He's speaking to church people. You belong to your father, the devil, and you want to carry out your father's desire. See, when I begin to do what the devil wants me to do, I am then doing his will, his desire. Jesus often said, Jesus would often come back and he would say, I am doing the Father's will. I am here to do the Father's will. When I begin to do what the devil wants me to do, then I'm fulfilling his will. And I'm wanting to say this on purpose. I'm wanting us to think how serious sin is when I begin to do what the devil wants me to do and I'm carrying out his will and I know it, I'm becoming his child. Jesus called the Pharisees children of Satan. Woo, that's tough, isn't it? So I asked this question, who do you belong to? You see, there's not a straddling the fence in the Bible ever. It's child of God, child of the devil, right? I mean, there's not anywhere else to be. And I'm not saying because you have fallen into this trap and accused people or been self-righteous, I'm not saying that that makes you Satan. What I am saying is that you're playing into his trap and we've got to put a stop to it. That's what I'm saying. And if you stay in that trap long enough, then you very well could become his child just like that. So, last verse. How do you defeat this accuser? In Revelation chapter 12, verse 11, it says, they triumphed over him. I love this. They triumphed over him, right? Who is they? Okay? It's not talking about God and the Father. They win all the time. They're just victorious. They don't even, but this isn't talking about them. This is talking about those who the devil was accusing. That's all of us. Not only then, but now we're under the accusations of the devil. So the thing is that anyone who's being accused by him, those are they triumphed over him. So there's a way that we can triumph over the devil. The verse continues. They triumphed over him by the blood of the Lamb and by